Good morning, my name is Jeff. I'm a sewer tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 8064 Southeast Clackamas Road here in Milwaukee, Oregon. We're located at the rear of the home. There is a 3-inch cast iron cleanout. This will be the point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. Here we go. It looks like it transitions immediately upon access. It's difficult to see the difference between the two pipe diameters, but it looks like it's going over to 6-inch concrete here, just about a foot from the point of access. We're going to start doing toilet flushes to help advance the camera out. It's getting difficult to push at this point. we do have some roots here coming through the joint at 77 feet. I will get that marked on the way back out. More roots here out to 81 feet. From 77 feet out to this point, there's roots in pretty much every joint. Well, unfortunately here at 92 feet, this is the furthest point I'm going to be able to get to. Just due to the amount of turns the line goes through and the overall length, there's just too much friction on the camera, going about an inch a minute at this point. So I will go ahead and locate the camera head and see where we're at, how far out we are, and then we're going to let the line drain out completely. I'm also going to get those roots marked for repair, but we'll let the line drain out totally so we have a good look at the flow line, how well it drains out. Okay, I was able to locate the camera head successfully, and right now we're about maybe 6 inches at most past the curb out on Southeast Clackamas Road. So we probably stop short here by about 15 feet. That would be my best guess, just judging by the main lateral or the manhole covers out in the street. About 15, 20 feet or so. We made it about 90% of the way there. I'm going to go ahead and start reeling back. The line is now drained out. Okay, I'm going to stop here at 81 feet out. This appears to be the furthest out point of root intrusion. I'm going to get this marked. I'll mark it with a green X. There's also a root intrusion just behind the camera head at about 77 feet. Okay, I just went and marked here at the, this is the furthest out point of root intrusion. We're about 81 feet out. Marked it with a green X. We're in the front yard. If you're looking at the face of the home, we're off to the far right side, right next to the closest rose bush to the street. Marked with a green X at 5 feet deep, and I do recommend repair there to correct those roots. I'm going to reel back to the beginning of the root intrusion and get that marked as well. Okay, I'm going to do another green X marking here, and I believe that is the extent of the root intrusion. I'll mark this with a green X as well. So between the two X's is the section of pipe that's got the roots. Okay, I went and marked here. This is about 77 feet. From 77 feet to 81 feet, we've got root intrusion. And I got a little bit deeper reading here, about 5 feet 6 inches deep. So it's right around the 5 foot depth mark for this section of pipe. I'm going to go ahead and reel back. Recommend replacing the pipe or sleeving the pipe from 77 feet to 81 feet thus far. And we do have some standing water that ends there at about 22 feet. I'm reeling back here to see where it starts. I will push back out and get that mark. There was about 3 inches of standing water there, so. I'm sitting here just examining the bottom of the pipe here. There's quite a bit of aggregate rock showing through, which is a sign that the pipe walls are thinning. I'm trying to see if that's a root you see there across the bottom of the pipe.
Bye. Bye. Have fun. Oh.
And this is the section of pipe here with the standing water in it. You can see we're getting debris and stuff built up right around the standing water. Debris that comes through hits that water and just comes to a stop and slows down significantly. And you get stuff like this building up. The concern is that it could cause buildup back in all the way up to the house and possibly cause a blockage. So I will recommend a repair here it ends at 23 feet. It's actually a relatively short belly, but there's about 2.5 to 3 inches of standing water. I'm going to go ahead and mark here. I'll do the same thing with an X at either end of the repair. As far as back closer to the home where I was examining the flow line for the aggregate rock, what I'm going to do is request that it be shown to a plumbing contractor to see, or get a second set of eyes on it to see if they think that that's thinned out enough that it needs to be replaced at this point. There's quite a bit of aggregate rock showing through, which is a sign that the pipe walls are thinning and could fail in the near future or have roots come punching through it. So I'm going to go mark here. I'll mention the depth and location here in just a moment. Alright, the line comes out the back of the house and then turns and goes around if you're looking at the front of the home, it comes around the right side of the house, and right here we are at the rear right corner of the home, just before the gate. And it's marked with a green X at 2 feet 7 inches deep, so pretty shallow, which is a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and pull back here to the beginning of the standing water. Let that water settle into place there for just a moment. It looks like it starts here at about 19 feet. So a relatively short section of pipe. 4 feet or so. Okay, I just located and marked here with the green X. We're at 2 feet 5 inches deep. So there is a depth change of grading deeper as it should. Obviously the locator could be off by an inch or two. So it is possible that the standing water here could be caused by a joint that's become offset. I don't think that's the case. I don't feel a hard edge when I push around here. It looks to me like we do just have a belly in the line. And I do recommend that be regraded. And then as we get closer back to the home here, my last concern was just the how much wear the bottom of this pipe is showing. You can see here the concrete looks relatively smooth, not a lot of wear, and then when we get back to here you can see lots of rock showing through, and that's a sign that the pipe is thinning out quite a lot, and when it gets to a certain point, roots have the ability to just punch straight through the walls of the pipe. So I think a good option here, because this is still flowing, would be to sleeve the pipe. And it's worth checking on what the cost difference is between sleeving and doing the sleeve on the entire thing. Sometimes when you've got multiple spot repairs at either end of the line, doing a sleeve can be very similar in cost. So it's worth checking that out. And the sleeve for the whole line would fully update the sewer and allow it to be maintenance free for a very long time. I'm going to try and map out this section of pipe here. Looks like it starts at about 6 feet right here at the turn, and I'll pull back to the beginning. It's basically the first 6 feet of the pipe is pretty worn out. Alright, I did a marking right up next to the back of the house. It's actually at 6 feet. I moved the camera reel a little bit, and it's at 2 feet 8 inches deep there. In the event that the line has to be dug down to. And most of the heavy wear starts at about 2 feet out. We're so close to that here. You might as well start the repair right at the transition to cast iron pipe. So I'm going to mark right here. And I'll mark this with a green T. And again, this section of pipe, currently I don't see any significant things that are going to block up the pipe. My concern is that the bottom of the pipe is extremely worn out, and what can happen is roots can bust right through the wall of the pipe, or the concrete can just crack and collapse. And it's getting pretty close to that point when you've got that much rock showing through. So again, I'm going to mark here with a green T. Alrighty, I do have all the my recommended repairs mapped out. So what we've got going on here, I'm recommending the pipe be sleeved or repaired, basically from the clean out. It's about less than 1 foot from the point of access, from the cast iron transition out to about 6 feet, and that is marked with green paint here in the backyard. Due to the amount of wear the pipe is showing, there's a lot of aggregate rock showing through. I recommend a repair from 19 feet to 23 feet to correct the belly in the line. It's holding about 2 to 3 inches of standing water and quite a bit of debris. And then I recommend a repair from 77 feet out to 81 feet to correct the root intrusion. So we've got 3 different repairs basically from start to finish. One's in the middle, one's at the beginning, and one close to the end. So this is kind of an ideal candidate to be sleeved because there's issues throughout the line. The one thing that would have to be dug down to would be the belly. That's from 19 feet to 23 feet to correct that grade. But the rest of the line would be a good candidate for sleeving. Put a sleeve inside the old pipe, and you basically end up with a brand new sewer line that is maintenance free for a long time. So I would recommend looking at the cost differences between doing spot repairs and doing a sleeve, as they can be similar when you've got repairs spread out all over the place. I'm going to go ahead and pull the camera all the way out. I do recommend a rescope after the repair work is done to ensure that it was all done properly and that a proper grade has been met. I'm going to go ahead and reel it out.